Okay, so I told you I might do it, and here's what I did. I made the trade, a big one. Traded Starlin Castro, Arismendi Alcantara, and Dan Vogelbach, who is a big-time hitting prospect in the Cubs system, and I had to go get that starter. I had to go get him. Went got Noah Syndergaard from the Mets, and we got Alex Torres, and tried to fill in. I also got a catching prospect. So here's what we're gonna do with this lineup. Got to change this lineup up before we get into our play a lot game in the spring training. And this is why I wanted to do spring training, because there's some things I might do during this spring training that is noteworthy. You understand me? Noteworthy. So this allows me to. I'm gonna put Chris Bryant back at third, which is something that I wasn't sure that I was gonna actually do. Right. So I'm putting him back at third because I kind of cleared up the log jam in the infield, and this is a trade the Cubs might make. I don't think the Mets are going to part with Syndergaard. I think they'll probably part with DeGrom, who was the NAL Rookie of the Year last year. I think that's probably the guy they'd be more apt to part with. But Syndergaard is going right into my rotation. I might throw him out there for an inning or something, especially since we're doing play a lock this particular episode for the pitcher position. So now in the regular season, I'll probably do player lock, and if the guy gets taken out or guy gets hurt or something, then that'll probably just be it. I won't just keep switching players. Because of spring training, we're switching some guys up. Now, I didn't want to do this to Justin Graham, right? Because in real life, he's really pitching. But on the game, he's only rated a 67. So I don't know, maybe you need a little bit of seasoning first. But I'm not done, because I don't like the outfield situation, right? Chris Coughlin is cool, but I want somebody with a little bit of pop. Now, I wanted Diane Viciato, who used to play for the Chicago White Sox. He didn't want the 1-year deal, had to give him the 2-year deal for him to join. So now we go back to the lineups, and Viciato is going to be I'm gonna kind of put him in a platoon system, basically, with Chris Coughlin, because I don't want to get rid of Coughlin altogether and take him out of the lineup completely. So I'm going to put him, I think I'm going to have him play against right-handers and let Viciato play against the lefties. So I'm thinking that's what we'll do. What do you think? Does that work? Is that a good, start to this? Because if you look at Coughlin, he's only hitting 60. He only has an overall rating of 67. It may not even, I don't know. It depends on how well Viciato hits. If Viciato is hitting really, really well, maybe I let him play against the right-handers too. He's rated a 73. He's got the bigger power potential. I think Coughlin's a better defensive player, but I don't know. We definitely have, I think, some good bats for sure. So I don't know. And then we're working on this American League lineup, which is always a little bit tricky for a National League team. You just get an opportunity to use an extra hitter. It's obviously more tricky for an American League team when they have to delete their DH, especially if the DH is a major contributor offensively. So we're gonna let Mike Oates stay as our DH when we play American League teams. So we'll see what happens here. Moving Russell down in the lineup a lot here. He's hitting ninth in real life, so definitely don't want that. Let's see. I got Rizzo hitting second, which is kind of copying off of Joe Madden a little bit. And let's see. Right-handers against DH. Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking at Coughlin, and I don't know. I'm thinking maybe Viciato just should be playing just period. But I know I don't want Baez DH, and I think Baez would be better on the field. I like Herrera, but I think Baez would be better on the field. Yeah, we're going to probably switch that up. But let's jump into this game, the play-a lock. And we started it out with Jason Hamill on the mound. Man, Jason Hamill's been really good in real life. Really good, man. The game he lost, or the Cubs lost in San Diego, he was awesome. I thought he had no-hit stuff early on. And then the Cubs bullpen ended up blowing the game, which has been an unfortunate situation so far this season. But we get the strikeout again now. Cubs are up 1-0, bottom of the third inning. Hamill still dealing, But look at that. That shot is hit right down the line, and that's the pitcher. This ball rolls off the wall, but look at Jorge Soler. Jorge Soler says, "Don't you ever run on me." Not even when franchise players on player lock and I ain't even controlling me. Don't run on me. You will get gunned down. Got gunned down at second. Don't you ever try that, Charlie Butler. Bottom of the fourth inning. Sit down. Noah Syndergaard comes in for 1 inning of work just to show y'all a little taste of some something. A little taste of some something. Through 4 innings. Cubs are up 1-0. Man, I'm trying to tell you though. Look, the game is tied 9-1. It's top of the 6th inning. We just hope we can keep this momentum going. Look at this. Edwin Jackson on the player lock hits the fly ball, and that's going to do. You did your job. You did your job, Edwin. You get the run home. My pitchers are doing their job in spring training. Phil Koch with the RBI double last game. Edwin Jackson comes up with the sac fly here against the Rockies. I mean, we can't ask for much more. We really cannot ask for much more. And we're watching from the dugout. We thought we'd give you a little bit of a different look here. It's spring training. This is when you try stuff. You know, this is when you try stuff. We don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to do it. We got to change this play a lot. Change this whole situation. You know, I'm showing this. You know why? Because the player lock, it works, but it really sucks when you're a pitcher. When you play a lock on a pitcher, it gets real weird because because you're not controlling like when the guy gets taken out or whatever. So once the guy gets taken out, you're now like, in limbo. Like you got to do a whole bunch of switching around in the menus and switching the player lock back off and back on again. I just don't like it, and that's why Dexter Fowler just hits into the force out there. But I don't dig it. I don't dig that. DJ LeMahieu is up, and now it's time to go. But see, this is what I'm talking about. Now we got to go back to the player lock, put Edwin Jackson back on. See, I'm hoping does anybody else feel my pain with this? And you see it switched the view because I play from the broadcast view. So once you go into the player lock, and if you take control of the pitcher, it goes right back into the default view that you want to use, and we get the out. You see that was actually interference. Have you ever seen a pitcher run in front of the runner running up the first base line? That was actually pretty weird, wasn't it? Last out of the game, Hector Rondon is doing a much better job in The Future Is Now than he is doing in real life. He gets the last out. Joe Madden has yet to taste defeat in The Future Is Now. And that is 3-0 in the spring. Save some of these wins for when it counts, young men. Edwin Jackson need a bigger hat because his hair is giving that hat a real issue. But we win it. We win it, and we're very proud and very happy about it. Wellington Castillo ended up getting the player of the game. We win it 3-2. That's it for this Player Lock episode. You saw the big trade that was made, a pretty decent sized free agent signing as well with Diane Viciedo. We're ready. More spring training action coming up in the next episode. God bless. Peace.